right, thanks so much for tuning in. 726 right here in Mountain Home, Arkansas. Our first guest of the show today is Duncan Clayton. He's from Nature's Way, and you're here to. Hey, how you doing, Duncan?
Welcome back.
Good, good.
How are you guys?
We are. Well, I can speak.
Terrific.
Besides the
We're
car
good.
issues, right? Besides that, doing
yeah,
well.
Yeah, that's always.
I'm still
frustrating.
dealing with the hail damage on mine. I'm still waiting on my turn to get it fixed.
Yeah,
yeah.
it's always something, isn't
No,
it?
isn't it?
Well, we want to talk today a little bit about what's happening down there at Nature's
Sure.
Way, and you had talked earlier before we come back on from the break about you want to talk a little bit about inflammation,
Right.
and pain,
Right.
and
Well, it's
some of the
something-
alternative things you may have down there at the store.
Right. Well, inflammation in our community, we have a lot of people that are retired or suffer from different issues that are related to inflammation. So it's very common. And when you start talking about inflammation, you have to understand, inflammation is the beginning of pain. So it's our body telling us something's wrong, or it's our body beginning the healing process. You've got two types of inflammation. You've got acute and you've got chronic. So acute inflammation, that's a sprained ankle. You sprain your ankle, it puffs up, it's sore, it's red, it aches.
It's a result of
But
something that
it
happened.
reduces over
Yeah.
time as it heals and it goes away. Chronic inflammation is more related to diseases such as arthritis or heart disease. So you have to understand that with inflammation, what causes the inflammation? And without getting too scientific about anything, there's an enzyme in our body. It's abbreviated COX2. Okay, now the importance of that is it's what kind of triggers inflammation in our body. So what scientists have realized, if you want to take down inflammation, you have to inhibit this COX2 enzyme. So what are some ways to do that? Well, there's the over-the-counter options. So we're all familiar with, I sprained my ankle, take some aspirin. Nurse the wound and take some aspirin.
Yeah.
Well, that's because aspirin helps inhibit the COX2 enzyme. The other issue, though, with aspirin is taking it long term. You may be familiar with people who have had digestion or stomach issues or pain or ulcers from taking aspirin over an extended period of time, months or years.
Yeah.
And that's because aspirin blocks another enzyme as well. It's the COX1 enzyme. And that enzyme helps with the lining of our stomach and lining of our blood vessels. So if it's not able to do its job, the lining of our stomachs and our blood vessels can break down and lead to ulcers.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's where, when you have arthritis, a chronic inflammation, aspirin it may help in the short term, but in the long term, it can cause other side effects, other issues that people really, nobody wants an ulcer.
Sure.
So for chronic issues, if you can't do aspirin, well, maybe you have to start looking at some of the prescription options. There's some common ones. I got to read them off of here. Vioxx, Bextra, or Celebrex are known prescription medications to help fight inflammation. The reason they were good is because they could block the COX2 enzyme without blocking the COX1. So it doesn't have those aspirin side effects. The problem is it has other side effects. And we're talking serious ones. We're talking like heart attacks, stroke, liver and kidney issues. In fact, Vioxx and Bextra were pulled off the market. And Celebrex is one of the highest FDA warnings required on a prescription medication. So, people have to be very careful when they take these.
Yeah.
So if you're not wanting to do an over-the-counter because you don't want to take aspirin every day, and you can't do a prescription option because of the side effects or for whatever reason you choose you don't want to do that, then what's left? Well, that's where people have started turning to some natural options. One of the best anti-inflammatory natural remedies that have been found is from turmeric. And most people are familiar with turmeric as a spice, a seasoning in many Eastern cuisines or curries. It's from India. Now, within turmeric, there's a compound called curcumin. Okay, now it's a small compound within, so if you had, a pound of turmeric, about 3 to 5% of that turmeric is going to contain the curcumin. So it's very small trace amounts within the turmeric. So the concept of, well, I'm going to add some turmeric to my meal to spice it up, and then that'll help with the anti-inflammatory.
You're not getting
Not
enough.
really, because
Yeah.
it's just such a minute dose.
Yeah.
The other issue you look at is curcumin isn't easily absorbed into the body. To kind of put that in perspective, you'd probably have to get an adequate dose of just pure concentrated curcumin. You might have to take 7 to 10 pills, and each pill being 500 milligrams, to actually get 500 milligrams. So you're getting about 10% of that pill absorbed into your body. Well, there's one company that has figured out a way to extract the curcumin in a way that's better absorbed. So we're talking, instead of taking 7 to 10 pills, you take 1. And it inhibits that COX-2 that I mentioned earlier without impacting the COX-1. So it does the same thing they wanted the prescription things to do without the side effects. And now this is an openly available product. It's by far one of our best-selling products in the store. I sell a bottle of this every day without doubt. I mean, multiple, but at least one every day. It's one of the most heavily studied products in our store, this curcumin, this extract of turmeric. And I'm talking like over 3,600 plus professionally done, peer-reviewed, published, and like scientific journal studies. This isn't someone on the internet saying, hey, I took this for a while and it worked. These are, the guys who spend their life doing research. And they've come back and shown that, it has these benefits. So when you're looking at that many studies and you're looking at something that you only have to take 1 pill without the side effects, it's something worth trying. It's something that we know people in our community have benefited from. We know that there's no known side effects. We know that even and in these studies, they do extremely high doses of this stuff. They're testing the limits of it, and they come back saying, there have been no found toxicity level issues, like build up in your kidney or your liver or your blood system that could have counter indications for you.
And it's over the counter. I mean,
Right.
there's no
there's
prescription that you have to worry about.
No prescription, no anything required.
And what we talk about arthritis and other issues. What other things does it help with that pain? As far as somebody says, well, I don't know what kind of chronic or other pain that I have. What will it cover?
When you're looking at inflammation, you're looking at just about every major health disease issue we know of. It has some interaction with inflammation. We're talking cancer, we're talking arthritis, we're talking Alzheimer's, we're talking heart disease and strokes. Heart disease, you get swelling and inflammation around the heart, you get restriction in the blood vessels, causes heart attacks.
What about fibromyalgia? Is that part of
Of
chronic?
Yeah, that's an autoimmune issue where your body winds up fighting itself. Autoimmune issues are when your body thinks something's wrong and causes that inflammation healing process when it's not necessary. And so you get those, the fibromyalgia type issues that are autoimmune based, and that's what this helps, because it helps prevent that inflammation from occurring.
So anyone that's got chronic pain needs to at least look into
and we've got multiple sets of literature they can come in to learn and read about it. We encourage people to come in. We can at least help point you in the right directions. I keep calling the the black hole of the internet, where you can get sucked into there and find out anything about anything, because anyone can post anything
and you can,
about
you can
anything.
find something to prove your point too if you want to.
But
which
we
is
have
not
the
always good.
references to these peer-reviewed journals for people who want to get down to the brass tacks, the real studies, the real information, the legitimate information about these products. That's what they can come in, and we can show them those references. We can point them in the right direction. We always encourage people to do their own research, be it with your doctor, with us, with something you want to do just on your own. Don't just take someone's word for it. Do your own research. Hold us accountable. Come in and let us tell you about it. You go home, do your research, come back. But of course, that's what we're there for, is we do this research, we gather this information, so you can come in and feel like you have a place of confidence with people that are from your community to help you understand the product.
And all of your employees down there are very knowledgeable. They know the product. I'm sure that you guys have sessions where you talk about new information that comes out every day.
Yep. We do. We have monthly meetings where we review with the staff new products we've brought in. We're constantly discussing, and I say politely kind of challenging each other, and hey, remind me about this, or how does this work with this, or why would somebody want to take this or not take this? So we're always engaging amongst ourselves as well to make sure we're on top of things.
Yeah, and for people that haven't been there for a while, you want to talk about your expansion a little bit. You're going twice the square footage down there.
Well, we're going, when you count the 2 stories of it, that might be possible. We are expanding into a cafe. Anyone who's been anywhere near the square since just about October has seen some bit or piece of the construction we're doing in the building right next to us, what used to be Nima's and then Parmano's, although that's been closed for well over a year now. But for people who've been here long enough, they might remember the pizza place that was right there. And that's in the building that is, if not the oldest building on the square, built in 1890. It was the original bank for People's Bank, which is now First Security, I believe. And we acquired that last year, and since October have been working on refurbishing it, bringing back a lot of its original construction, if you will. We've exposed some of the original stonework that's in there. We've built a staircase so you'll be able to go up to the 2nd floor and look out over the square. And it'll be I guess the common term now is like a fast casual cafe dining experience where you walk up and order, but we hope to have items to go. So if you're in a hurry, and you're on your lunch break, or you're running through town running errands, and I don't have time to sit down and eat, but I just want to grab something that I know is light or delicious or healthy.
Which is extremely hard to find when you're wanting faster food. You can't find anything that's...
If you're tired of going through a drive-through, if you will, then we hope to be able to provide a safe haven for people to come, and you can just grab something or order off the menu.
And this is for lunch, and that's it? Or
breakfast and lunch.
Breakfast and lunch. Okay.
Yeah, we're not looking at dinner at the current time.
And your breakfast items are rolls and muffins and that kind of thing?
We hope. Yeah, we don't even have the kitchen completely done yet, so I'm really waiting on the fun part of the trying and tasting new things and setting that menu. But conceptually, yes, it'll it may not be a big heavy cooked breakfast, but you're lighter, maybe some granola, some oatmeal, some baked items as you mentioned, cereals, and maybe some light breakfast sandwiches or burritos, those kind of things. I don't want to say anything too specific because we just hadn't got it all figured out yet.
When's the target date?
Well, we're hoping within the month of July, most likely towards the end of July, if all goes well. But we're going to do it right, so we're not in a hurry to open it. We just want to make sure we've got all the T's crossed and the I's dotted before we open those doors. And it'll be a soft opening, if you're familiar with that term, where we
All of a
won't be
sudden you
doing a
walk
lot
in and
of-
it's going to be open. No grand opening until
Right.
you get it all the bugs
so
worked out.
those customers that come in the store a lot, they'll most likely be the ones that'll have the first chance to get in there and try some things. And once we know everything is exactly the way we want it, then we'll probably do kind of your grand opening and really try to
Sounds good.
advertise it to the community. So
All right.
encourage people to be aware of that, and please take heart what I've said about the inflammation and
Sure.
stuff. When you've got, you can look at all the research you want, and you can go cross-eyed looking at these journals and these studies and stuff that get very technical. But when I have a customer walk in the door, someone who might, and this is a real story. She came in, I'd put her probably in her 90s. And she walks in with a smile on her face, ear to ear, and she says, "Look at me, I'm walking." Because she was using this product and she was not able to get out of her house. And now it has reduced the inflammation and pain enough that with the help of a walker, she can become mobile and was able to come in the store and get the bottle herself instead of having to send her daughter in. That's when you know something's legitimate.
Success.
That's good.
And when I've used it for my own back pain, from a slipped disc, from being a little too rambunctious
And
when I was
again,
younger, I know it works.
That product is called, if people just walked in the room, what's it called?
Curamin is
Curamin.
a product that there's curcumin, which is the compound,
Right.
and the one product that is more, the term is bioavailable, but really the absorption. It's not just about how much you take, but it's about how much you absorb.
Right.
So Curamin is the product that has that unique form that is most available for absorption in your body. So you only have to take one pill instead of
Right.
7 or 10.
Right. Well, for people out there who want more information, they can contact Nature's Way, or you go down and talk to Duncan or any of the helpful staff, I'm
That's
sure.
right. We love talking with people. That's what we're there for.
Yeah.
Come in, give us a talk. I just come in and talk with us first, and then decide if there's a product in there you want to try.
All right. Thanks, Duncan.
Thank you.
It's always
seeing
very
you.
informational when you come.
Yeah, love
Big
it.
things
And,
happening down there.
yeah.
Big things.
Check them out. We're going to take a break real quick here. When we come back, we'll be talking local author Jim Davis and his book called Until September, 9 Months to Give. We'll talk to him in just a few minutes. Stay with us.